So, for the first time ever, you're going to hear a story. Now, originally, this story was on my old series, The Voice of Playboy Man, but that didn't really go anywhere. I didn't really put a lot of faith into it. Plus, I was eating and drinking at the time, so it was very unprofessional. So, I'm going to go and do a more professional version of this story of mine. It's called The Smelly V, or more effectively, The Smelly Vagina. Don't worry, it's not sexual. Believe me, it's not. That's kind of one of the blessings in this whole story. So, take a moment to pause the video, kick back, grab some tea, and just, take a few seconds, because I want you to listen to this story from start to finish. And I don't want any distractions. I don't want you being like, wait, what did he just say? So just take a moment. Okay, you all done? Excellent. Okay, so here's the story of the smelly vagina. In the early 2000s, mid to late, or was it late 2000s? One of the two. It was sometime in the 2000s. There's a store that we have. It's called the Meyer store. It's not there now. It closed like a year and a half ago. And when it was there, it was one of my go-to places for just about anything. If there were equipment parts that I needed, like cables, headsets, sometimes a keyboard. I remember purchasing one of those. And just your basic amenities. That's where I went. Because, one, really nice store. I mean exceptionally nice. If you've ever been to a Meyer Superstore, those things are huge. You can get lost in there. But it was a really nice store. So damn nice. There wasn't a single section of that store that I did not like being in. Not a single section. It was a great establishment. And one of the things that was really great about it, the air conditioning. Whenever I take my long walks in the summer, and yes, I take long walks in just about any season, I would always stop there, because the air conditioning was spot on, just fantastic. It's like it's a sauna outside, and then you walk through the door, there's like this rush of air that hits your face, and all of a sudden it's like, yes, I'm inside a glacier, and I'm loving it. It was a great thing. So anyway, it was kind of semi-hot, around 78, 79 degrees, and it was a nice breeze. It wasn't too bad. So I remember that I needed to buy something from Meyer. So I make the pilgrimage, as it were, to go to the Meyer store. I remember having $25 in my pocket in cash, and I was going to buy something. So I go into the store, and it's, typical Meyer. I go through the cart corral and the little waiting space area, and it's great. It's fantastic. It's fine. No problems. And then I go in through the door. There's the whiff of that air, but there's also a scent, a very unusual, pungent smell. It starts out faint, but it kind of wafts a little bit. I don't think much of it. It doesn't get any more powerful than, it doesn't get to the point where I gag, but you can sense it. It's prominent, just for a few moments. I don't think anything of it. I'm thinking maybe it's the seafood section, because I do know that at the time I was going to the store, they were doing renovations. They were changing stuff around. Some places were getting built up, some places were not. Nothing unusual, right? I'm not thinking anything of it. And I'm thinking maybe it's the seafood section. So I'm walking around the store, just enjoying the cold AC that was just, they kept it crank. It was great. Seriously, that's the one thing I like about that store, is that fucking AC, man. And I end up around at the seafood section. But the seafood section is completely closed. There isn't anything there. There's no food of any kind. There's no shellfish, no lobster, no fish of any kind. Nothing. It's closed for renovation. There's nothing there. And the smell is nowhere there either. And it was weird. Very weird. Because it did smell extremely funky. So damn funky. And I couldn't figure it out. I honestly couldn't figure it out. So I go to the refrigerated section, and I remember I bought something. I'll explain why I'm not giving you the names of the items that I have purchased later on. It does play a point. But I do remember being at I think it was the refrigerated section or somewhere near the refrigerated section. I remember taking something out and putting it in my hand cart. I remember the hand cart too. And then I remember, I think I traveled past the women's apparel section, and the smell was there. But there was nothing rotten that I could see. It was just bras and underwear, and, blouses, a couple of nice dresses on sale. I didn't really see anything out of the ordinary, but the smell was there, and then it just slowly dissipated. I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on, you know? So I remember going to the electronics section. That's the best part of any store. The fantastic electronics section. I'm going to take a little side note. If you ever want to look at how things are priced from store to store, if you ever just want to just look at the latest things, latest gadgets, or 99 times out of 100 look at something and be like, oh, I could use that, I could use that, I could use that, go to the electronics section of any store. Meyer had a really nice electronics section. They had televisions, and they always played movies on them. I actually spent nearly 1 hour inside a store watching a movie before I was told by the attendant, sir, either you buy a television or you go about your business. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll just go about my business, because I can't afford these televisions. They're like $700-800. What am I? I haven't made the potion that allows me to crap money. It's just more crap that came out. I tried and failed. So I remember shopping around and browsing everything and looking at what they had. DVD minus R discs, the blank ones. They had a great selection of headphones. Fantastic selection of headphones. And they had an interesting selection of corded phones. For landlines. Yeah, you don't remember what a landline phone is? Yeah, Google search that shit. I explained it to you. And they had cameras, digital SLRs of all the thing. They had a nice Blu-ray section too. And magazines. Oh god, the magazines. I really missed that fucking store. I really do. It was like a vacation from the shit. But anyway, I remember grabbing an item from that particular section, the electronics section. And I did walk around a little bit more in the store, enjoying the AC, doing my basic window shopping. That's all it really, really was. Just window shopping at this point. And I grabbed a couple of items. And I remember, I think the price of the things that I grabbed being just under $19. Because I remember doing the math in my head. So, I get to the aquarium section. Yes, they sold fish there. This store was amazing, I tell you. And I remember seeing the fishies, and that big giant sign on every single cage saying, please don't tap on the glass. And of course, I also remember seeing the little bastard 6-year-old tapping on the fucking glass. You don't do that. That hurts the fish. But he was tapping like crazy. And I remember seeing that kid getting dragged away by his dad saying, if you don't stop that shit, I'm gonna whoop that ass. I remember that very well. But at the same time, the smell. It was there. And that's when I thought to myself, okay, I figured it out. It's one of the fish tanks. And this section was pretty large. Fish tanks all over the fucking place, right? And that's where I'm thinking that's where the smell's coming from. Maybe one of the tanks are dirty, or maybe one of the fish, decided that it was time to go and leave this earth, this form of existence, and they just didn't clean out the tank, and it smells a little, Maybe that's what it is. So that's what I chalk it up to be. So as I walk away from the aquarium section, the smell disappears. Mystery solved, right? Totally solved. Completely gone. I'm like, okay, something's happening over in the aquarium section, so it needs to clean it up. That's what the smell was. It's alright. It's totally good. I have nothing to fear. Yeah. So then I go to the checkout lanes. And at that store there were about 20 lanes and 2 self-serve. Now the self-serves were the newest thing the newest addition that they were adding to the store. Hadn't been fully installed yet or properly tested, so I couldn't use those. And there was the express lines. 10 items or less. One of them was open, so I go to the express lane. There's just me and another person ahead of me. And I noticed that while all the other lanes were open, all the other lanes, all the other 19 lanes were open, everybody else was on the way far end. The line just went all the way back, and nobody was even at the register. So it was like it's open, but everyone's at a very long distance, and it's hell and gone from aisle to aisle, from the checkouts. The final lane at the checkout is like 20 feet away from the express line, and everyone was over there. And so you could hear the attendant saying, "I can help you over here, whoever's in line at 19 or 20. Nobody moved. It was the weirdest phenomenon. I'd never seen anything like it. People wanting to be in a long line. It was weird. So I finally stand at the express lane. I got less than 10 items right there, and there's only one person ahead of me. I'm not thinking anything of it. And of course, it's a woman. And the woman was wearing extremely tight jeans. They were white. I've never seen white blue jeans before. It's the most weirdest thing. Or can you call them white blue jeans? Well, they were white jeans, I don't know. And of course, like you'd see in the summer, they were very tight, very form-fitting. So I'm thinking, okay, I got my items, and, I'm enjoying the view. Nothing, no big deal. I mean, I'm single at this point, so my girlfriend was not in the picture at the time, so living it up, YOLO. So then, the lady drops an item from her cart, and she goes to bend down. And of course, in the mind of the bachelor, it's like, alright, the matinee, this is gonna be... And then, the smell. When she started to bend down, like 2 seconds later, the smell is in full tilt. It was atrocious. It was a fucking abomination to all things human. I mean, I had smelled like little whips and puffs. That's why I was smelling it around the store. She was shopping around the store, and there was the smell. So whenever she got in proximity of me, there you go. There it was. That's what that was. That's why I could smell it in different places. The last place, the aquarium, she must have been near there, and that's what happened. And the women's section, women's apparel, she's a woman. Hello. So that's why I was smelling it. She was shopping around, and I happened to get within certain range of her, and there it was. So, the smell is just horrible. It's like, you know how you have like one of those Idaho russet potatoes go really, really rank? You know the kind, they're at the bottom of the bag of potatoes, and there's like a fluid pouring out, and it smells like death coupled with shit and rotten yeast. You know the kind? You know what I mean? That is what it smelled like, but with a hint of sourdough. It was so bad. And she was still bent over trying to get stuff, so the more she was bent over, the more the smell was prominent. And it was just hitting me. It was like in waves. Every time she swayed her hips, every time she went to squat down even further, oh God. At one point, I actually thought it was a good idea to open my mouth and try to breathe through my mouth. Yeah, that's great. So now, in addition to smelling this, I now know what it tastes like. First time ever, I actually know the taste of jank vagina. I am so glad sex was not involved in this. I mean, God fucking damn it. God fucking damn it. It just got to a point where I could feel it in my eyes. That's how bad and rancid it was. I mean, it was unnatural. There's no way a woman can have that kind of funk going on between her legs. It's not humanly possible. Was she human? I don't know. You can't tell me she couldn't smell that. I mean, dude, the fuck? So finally she goes and she picks up the item, she's collected it, she puts it on the cart, and she, continues to go shopping. There was one person, a dude who was behind me, who was about to get in line. I think he caught a whiff of what was going on, and he moved down to the other end of the aisles of checkout. But, I wanted to leave, so I figure I'll just bear the storm. I can handle this. She's not going to drop anything. I'm hoping she doesn't drop anything. And, I just try to weather it as best I can. I got my hand over my face, and I'm just bearing it. So then, I hear the cashier, and I think she's talking very fast, like super fast. She says, I'm not going to repeat how fast she was going, but she did ask, do you have any other items in your cart? So, as soon as she asked that, like an eagle, my eyes instantly scanned her cart. And then I remembered, they got that lower partition. You know the part where there's extra stuff if your cart gets full? There's stuff down there at the bottom. The last thing that I remember, the very last thing that I remember, was her squatting down to get the stuff. And this time, squatting. Not bending over, full squat, legs were parted open. And then, to this day, and this is no fucking joke, the last thing I remember was her squatting down, and the next thing I remember after that is me walking back home, the money still in my pocket, and I'm empty-handed. I must have somehow just, like, in some kind of strange blackout haze, just said fuck it, and just left the store. I couldn't take it. Okay, it was like the smell was that powerful that it just like wiped that portion of memory. It's just gone. I've tried for years to remember what the fuck it was I needed to buy and why it was so urgent to get it, and I still, to this day, cannot remember. All I remember is that it was there, and I was happy. I also remember being thirsty, so maybe I bought something to drink. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I remember just walking away disappointed and empty-handed. Just walking back home. I wasn't in the store anymore. I honestly do not know what happened. About 2 weeks later, I'm back in the store. There is no smell. Everything, seems okay. I don't think I made a scene because nobody reacted to me when I came in. There was the greeter who was like, hello, welcome to Meyer, and you need a cart or a day's flyer and stuff. It was like nothing had happened. So maybe I just casually stormed off. Maybe I just walked away. It was like, it's not worth it. I still don't know. I honestly, truly do not know. I don't know what happened to the woman with the smelly vagina. I don't want to know what happened to the woman with the smelly vagina. I do hope that she got that shit treated. That's not savory. That's not good at all to smell like that. That's someone with a problem, and it should be addressed as soon as humanly possible. To this very day, I still don't know. I honestly do not know. But I will never forget that smell. Never ever will I forget that smell. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, the store, the lovely Meyer store, closed about nearly 2 years ago. They were just decided to go out of business. It's now a Huntington Welcome Center, and it's okay. And it's got a parking right now, but it's just really sad. Such a great store has to have that kind of memory tainting it in my mind. But I'll still remember the AC though. That was great. God, that was some good AC. It makes residential AC look like a fucking joke. And that's it. That concludes my story of the Smelly V. I want to thank you guys very much for listening. I hope that you got a lot of laughs and a lot of oh my gods. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube. Feel free to follow and subscribe on Twitch, and also leave comments there as well. Share the video with whomever you want and listen to it as many times as you'd like to. If you have any questions about this story, if there's anything that any like loose ends that I left up that aren't coming to mind right now, by all means you can catch me on my Twitter at PlayboyMan. Thank you very much, though. I was God of Knockers, and it's been real nice sharing the story with you. Laters!